Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to discuss about how to get unstuck in life. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribe. Please also ring that bell so that you don't miss a beat because I will provide personal development tips every week. Thank you. Stay tuned. Today, in the playground with my kids, I met another dad who struggled for a few months at his work. Eventually, he would successfully become a manager of a recent IPO company. He also managed a team of 20 plus people. So how did he get unstuck from his life? So he shared with me that when he don't know what the choices he need to make for his next career goal, he started to quit his job and spend 2 months at home to really think about what kind of person it is and what he really wants to do in his life. Either join a big company or a smaller but more promising one. So I think most of us have encountered this in life, including myself. As Robert pointed out in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in a lot of cases, life does not talk to us, it pushes us around. So we can either push back or doing nothing. So I'm always curious about how to get unstuck for certain situations in life. I find a typical framework that will help all of us. It's a book called Design Your Life. It adopts a strategy of design thinking. As a mechanical engineer, it makes a lot of sense to me because my daily task involve with designing, prototyping, and test. So here are some lessons I want to share with you. There are 5 steps in the design thinking process. First is empathize, which means you need to really think about what's your target users. Try to think it in under their shoes, not just about what you want to create, but the product, the service, or the software you created. How can it solve their problems? What's the value for your potential customers? Second is define the problem. If you want to solve a problem, you have to define clearly. A lot of cases, if you don't know the root causes, you may not solve the real problem. So as a mechanical engineer, again, we use a lot of framework like fishbone diagram and 5 whys to find out the true root causes. I'm a true believer that once you know the root causes of the problem, you are closer to the solution. After you define your problems, then you start to brainstorm ideas. They call it the ideate stage. You can brainstorm ideas with your co-workers. In this stage, don't judge any ideas if it's good or wrong. You just want to create a shared pool ideas with as much information as possible. Next is the prototyping, which is also the most important stage. Most of you have probably watched the movie Minority Reports. The idea of the Google Glass is very similar as what we saw in the movie as Tom Cruise did. Can you take a guess? How long does it take for Google to prototype one of the products to test? Check out the TED Talk given by Tom Chi, who proposed the idea.
How would you prototype this experience? How long do you think it would take you to make the first working version of a heads-up display? Okay, a little bit on the long side. The answer is 1 day. And here's what it looked like. So,
as you can see, prototyping is a great way to speed up your process. Instead of waiting for the full production of the parts, you can just feel fast. It's a way to speed up your process. After prototyping, it's called testing. Then you want to start gathering test results, try to understand from testing. A lot of cases, you will have new information or discovery come out of the testing. And it's a starting of the reiterated process as you might be able to change your design based on your new discoveries. So how does these 5 steps help us get unstuck in our personal life? So we should adopt a similar idea. For the first step, empathize. instead of trying to emphasize others' need, now you need to really understand what's your need, what you want to do with your life. In certain cases, you might get tired with your job, you might have a relationship that is broken, or even a business that's failing. You have to get down to your true self to understand what kind of person you are and what you really want to do with your life. So that's how I related to the first stage as a emphasis. After that, you need to define your problem. Is that because your personality doesn't fit the culture, or is it because you have a different interest than what you're doing? Or maybe there's just a skill set gap that prevent you from achieving a better result at work. So after you've defined those problems, that will give you a clear understanding about what you want to solve. The next step, go to the ideate. So here you might want to brainstorm a couple of ideas, what you want to try to fix your problems. For example, if you want to change a role, you may start thinking, is there a better type of role that will fit me better? Or should I move from a big organization to a startup? Or even do you want to consider do a lateral movement? So in this stage, you can talk with a lot of people who are experienced or who are already doing the work you are interested to. Try to create as much as ideas as possible. Again, like we mentioned before in the brainstorm stage, don't judge just purely based on how it sounds like. So try to just put it there, give yourself a full pool of ideas to choose. The next step is to prototype. Unlike a product for yourself, you want to start to think about how it will be look like after a full change to a new state. For example, if you want to change a role, you may not be able to just quit your current job and go to find a complete new one and start to doing it, because it's a lot of risk associated with, or sometimes there's simply not a quick switch, right? So in those cases, what you can do is you can start to talking with people who are already doing the work, trying to understand what will it be look like for you, and also try to get yourself trained for that position, or try to learn a lot of information about what kind of task you need to do or skills you need to pick up. Last is to get ready to test. That's when you need to do your courage. If the opportunity comes, don't hesitate. Just because you already do your due diligence, you have already checked every aspect of that opportunity, just go for it. Sometimes we need to get out of the comfort zone. Maybe we will say, are we going to fail or are we going to successful doing that? So stop the doubt, because you already understand your problem, you define your problem, you understand what are the options you have, and you have to go for it. Then that's the next step of the test. After test, it's not done. Just like the product, it's not done. It's an iterative process. You might end up finding, okay, that aspect of the work or new situation is what you like, but not the whole thing. So you might tweak a little bit, try to find the combination of what exactly will make a best job or situation for you. Then from there, you can keep improving, keep searching until you find the most fulfilling and the most satisfying thing or job to do. So like I said, this is what I've been learned, and you have to go through this step. Hopefully this talk will give you a framework for you to help you get unstuck in your life. It might be different from finding a job or fix a relationship or even starting a business. Try to follow the steps, try to start to get some momentum. There's another thing in the Rich Dad Poor Dad, life is just like a go to gym. The most painful part is deciding to go. Once you are there, it will be much easier. So again, that's what I want to share with you today. If you are new to my channel, please click that subscribe and ring the bell, because like I said, I like to help people to thrive, and I will provide personal development tips each week. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.